Everybody, happy Monday. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Pat Cavlin here, just with an update on the forecast, some new information that just came in at the top of the hour. We now have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for all of southeast Texas, and that goes all the way through 8 o'clock this evening. So that includes, again, everybody that's watching us from southeast Texas right now. The threats that we're going to be looking for with any storms that develop, and there are already storms out there right now, will be the potential for an isolated tornado. Also, the primary threat is large destructive hail. We could see hailstones pretty much on average to the size of apples. That means we could see some that are even bigger than that. So we're talking about hailstones about 2 to 4 inches in diameter, and then really impressive wind gusts. And that threat will start to increase as we get towards the second half of this event, so towards the later afternoon. So I would say right now the primary threat is the potential for very large hail, and then it becomes a damaging wind threat as we get into the later afternoon hours. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect already. This is for Colorado, Jackson, Wharton counties till 1:30, and it is a hail-driven warning with a hail size just over an inch. Could also see 60-mile-per-hour winds with that. It's a lone supercell here just to the west of El Campo. That is the one that we're going to have to keep a very close eye on, because lone supercells that are on the southern end of a batch of storms tend to do some funny things sometimes. Those are the cells that are more likely to tap into any type of rotation in the atmosphere. So this is why we're going to have to keep an eye on this. So if you live along the Southwest Freeway here through Wharton County, big storms just to your north here. Nutation all the way back through Providence City, just north of El Campo. And then look at this now getting into Fort Bend County. We've also got some really intense rainfall and a tremendous amount of lightning as well. I have the lightning, it's on there, but the visibility of it is really low, just so we can see what's going on with the radar, but it is just covered in lightning right now. And notice some areas of magenta showing up within that red. That is where we could be seeing maybe some small hail. We're talking pea to penny-sized hail, so nothing really large at this point. But if these storms can continue to grow and strengthen, we could see that hail size increase. But the hail size is still small enough that they haven't put a warning on this storm yet. I do think that might change, though, as time goes on. Here's the estimated hail size. We've got the legend up here, which I know might be kind of hard to see. But anything in that gray color indicates, again, what I was just mentioning, pea to maybe marble-sized hail, so definitely on the smaller end. Once we get up into the quarter and golf ball size, that's what may trigger a warning on these storms. So there's a look at the wider shot. We've got wave number 1 of storms coming in now. This will be in Houston, in the city of Houston, probably within the next 45 minutes. It's kind of slow moving right now. We're talking about tremendous amounts of rainfall, though, through Rosenberg, Richmond, Sugar Land, just south of I-10 here, southern parts of Katy, the parts of Katy that are in Fort Bend County. We're seeing a little bit of, we're seeing some of the rain push into those areas as well. And then more big storms, more severe storms back out towards San Antonio, Gonzales. We're seeing some pretty heavy storms right now as well, with the severe thunderstorm warning out there. So let's put the forecast into motion now with Future Track. We go through the next few hours. These will be the cells to watch here. Again, probably by 2 p.m., so the next 45 minutes, that cell starts to come into the city of Houston. And we will see this kind of march its way across the city over the span of about an hour. They're pretty slow-moving storms, so street flooding could be an issue, especially if these storms are putting down rain at 2 to 3 inches per hour. Hail, though, the primary severe threat, and also a damaging wind threat, especially south of the city of Houston, as that heavier cell starts to push through. Some bigger cells back towards the west as well. And as we continue to fast forward the motion here, you can see heavy rain continuing all the way through the evening into dinner time. And my producer now just contacted me saying that there's a ground stop at Bush. So if you're watching this right now and you've got a flight coming up or you're waiting for someone to come in, ground stop at Bush, that goes until 2:30. And just based on the radar, I wouldn't be surprised if they extend that even longer. So a little bit of news there. Again, if you have a flight this evening, that ground stop is going to have ripple effects. Okay, back to Future Track, 4:30 p.m. Heavy storms down towards the coastal spots. Northern areas, it's kind of iffy how the day is going to play out for you. The chances there for severe weather, but at the moment, it looks like the focus of it stays, I think, across the city and points south, but any storms can go rogue and lift to the north, so that's why everyone has to be on their guard. Good news, though, everything's pretty progressive, so I would say by 6 and 7 p.m., we start to dry things out gradually. Okay, let's talk about the threats now that we're watching with these storms. large hail is like number one. I mean, that's the key threat that we're watching for. The brightest color here indicating the highest potential, and then these black lines that going across the screen, that indicates the potential for significant hail, so 2 to 4 inch diameter stones possible again for the city of Houston. Same deal with wind. When you see the black lines, that indicates the potential for significant winds. So we could see a swath of winds 60, 70, 80 miles per hour possible with some of those storms that get going, especially later in the day. That's why the black lines go out to the east, because it's as the storms push to the east towards Beaumont, Louisiana, that wind will become more of the overarching threat with these storms. And the tornado threat is low, but it's not zero, and they actually did pull that 5% area, that color right there, they did pull that back to the west a little bit. So again, any supercells that can manage to stay away from becoming a big cluster and can tap into a little bit of spin, they have the potential to maybe spin up a brief tornado. So again, one more look at the radar. Big time storms now along Highway 90 and the Southwest Freeway up towards Sugar Land. Severe thunderstorm warning here just to the north and west of El Campo, with hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds being the primary threat. That warning expires at 1:30. But again, just tremendous amounts of rain falling right now along Highway 90 from East Bernard through Richmond into Sugar Land now, maybe with some pea to marble-sized hail. And we've got more storms on the back end. So it's going to be a very busy afternoon for us. Please, please, please have a way to get warnings this afternoon, because the potential that we have to see these big hailstones, I mean, hail in excess of 2 inches in diameter, I mean, if that hits you, that's going to injure you. So if we get it up to 3 and 4 inches, we're talking about significant injuries possible if you get caught outside in one of those storms. It's an isolated chance, but nonetheless, if you get an alert to your phone for a significant thunderstorm warning, it's time to go inside. So just take any warning that you get this afternoon very seriously. Fortunately, it's out of here this evening. The weather looks beautiful for tomorrow and Wednesday. We're going to talk more about that coming up in the 411 at 4 o'clock. And of course, we're going to be doing updates here on the web and even on TV starting at